got a lot of new. I've got a lot of new technology here. I board marker and pen, but the way I'm videoing it is I'm right up by the microphone, so I apologise. So we're talking today about genre, and if you're looking at the unseen, what do you say about genre? And the key thing is, what genre means is type. What type of thing am I looking at? You think it all the time, you just don't realise what type of restaurant we're going to go to. What type of person is this? What type of book is it? What type of film is it? So you judge everything. You've got all these ideas about what that means. So the first thing you have to think is, look, what am I looking at? So look, here's the technological bit. Thank you. So let's take the first thing. It's obviously going to be, which could be, oh, I'm a bit worried about my technology here. Sorry, technology's let me down. God. Prose, of which it could be fiction, which we probably call a novel, or it could be a short story. Put that in. Or we're looking at non-fiction. So, oh, hang on, I had notes and everything. So, in a novel and non-fiction, the key thing you're going to write about is the narrator. You've got someone talking to you, showing you round. So you might say that the narrator, it focuses you on this character, it focuses, and then it moves you to another character's thoughts. You might say that it ignores some character's thoughts. You might think it gives you explicit commentary, like that Mary Barton one. Explicit comments? Oh, I'm not sure actually now. Or is it more implicit comments, by ignoring bits, by making ironic remarks? It might be a really obvious first person narrator or a really subtle third person narrator, but it's going to take you around the place. And that's what stories, novels have got that plays often haven't. So you're writing about the novel and the narrator, it's a good chance to write about how the narrator allows the author to make their protest point. It's the same with non-fiction. So you might have an obvious narrator, or it might be a third person one, but they're still choosing where to focus your attention. So that's prose. Let's move over. Can you pretend this is like a super tech, like wipe thing between takes? Hang on, and I'll just move the post-it note. Right, we're on to poetry. So you'll look and you'll immediately think, aha, I'm in poetry. Difference between that and prose, there's books and books written, and as far as I can see, after reading loads and loads of books on it, the answer's not much difference between poetry and prose, apart from the gaps at the end of the line thing. So you might still have a narrator. In fact, if you think about it, you've definitely got a narrator. You might think poetry allows, we expect from poetry, from the genre, you might expect a bit more description, or you might be allowed a bit more exploration, or it might all be a bit more metaphorical. This flower is really the evils of capitalism, but all of those can be in prose. But you think you might expect them a bit more from some poems. And again, you do have a narrator really in poetry, but those are your key things that it might have. Some people might write about the rhyme and the rhythm of it. The AQA doesn't like it that much. So you can, if the rhyme makes it comic or makes it grand, or the rhythm is stable or the rhythm's uncertain, you might make points out of those. But they prefer narrators, the genre of poetry, the setting chosen, that type of area. Here's that posh wipe transition I've bought. The next one we're looking at is drama. Are you looking at a piece of drama in front of you, which if you think about it, they should really send as a video clip, but they don't. The big thing drama's got, the other two hasn't, is what can you see? and you have to pretend you can see something, obviously, you're going to be looking the setting. So, for example, the courtroom setting of the Joan of Arc one is intimidating. It's the power of the state. You might look at the gestures and the postures of the people on stage. So Torvald grabbing hold of Nora's ear. Who's standing up? Who's sitting down? The powerful might be sitting down. The powerless might be standing up with a hat in their hand or something. So what you can see on stage, entrances and exits of characters, etc., that's what to write about with drama. I think we're about halfway through. I hope you're okay. So let's talk, after you've decided, is it prose, fiction, non-fiction, poetry or drama, we're going on to, within that, there's subcategories. So are you looking at a sonnet? It's going to have 14 lines, maybe 16 if you're Tony Harrison, of course. So the aristocratic love poem. Is it another love poem, just any old love poem, what you might expect, all the compliments and all I can't live without you, all that sort of thing, all the love poems, what are you expecting from it? You might be, I can't put all the genres that there are, I'm just whizzing through a few. They did a dystopia with Fahrenheit 451, making a comment on your own society. It could be a bit of science fiction, but actually thinking about it, that's the same. You set it in the future, another planet, to make a comment on your own society. You might get a eulogy, which is often a speech at a funeral often, but doesn't have to be about a person. So you is good and log is word, good words about a person. Are you looking at a eulogy? Are you looking at an elegy, which is a poem in praise of someone who's usually died? And you normally expect praise, don't you? So obviously if you don't get it, it's quite exciting. Are you looking at an epic? I can't believe they'll give you a bit of epic or a bit of myth. Again, going instead of going forwards with science fiction, you go backwards. Oh, didn't things used to be better and fairer and nicer? Commenting on your own society. You might get, oh, hang on, what genre? Oh, comedy, very big one to say, so many different types of comedy, but that allows all sorts of subversion, apparently. You might get a bit of tragedy. I doubt it, and again, that's got so many different types, but it could be in there. You might look at an advert, you know what you expect from an advert. You might look at a newspaper report, you know what you might expect from that, a certain amount of detachment. So if you Google genres, there's just loads, but you look at what you've got in front of you and what you expect from those things and whether you get it in this particular one. So I have advice for you. Let me just do that complex digital transitioning from screen to screen thing. There it is. So my advice is to plan some. Do the first 20, 25 minutes. Read it slowly. Get the hang of it and practice just the planning of one of each type. You don't have to do all three. Sorry, you don't have to do the whole hour. And here, I'm just doing another complex transition onto my computer. This page, it's better on the laptop than on your phone. But down here, look, I've got, click here for sample unseen questions and model answers. So I've done that for you. There they are. Have a go at them, and they've all got models. And then obviously in each, and it's coming back, here it is. In each protest paper, where it says section 8, there's 3 there for you to look at as well. Good luck, everybody. Me and Mark were really, really pleased with what you did in the mock. So just be doubly sure what you're up to. Use that, I put it here, I knew it was here. Use this front sheet to assess unseen answers as you're planning it. There it is. with those questions. Well done. Bye bye.